Hey girl, hey, it's your girl Jensine, aka Jungle Knobs. I'm so excited to see you today. It's been a minute since you guys saw me with my natural hair. My hair is thriving, growing. She doesn't even like fit all in the frame. But yeah, I had to wrangle my hair into this bun today and it was a success. Now today we're gonna be going ahead and taking a look at the Proceed with Caution collection. This is Makeup Shayla and Colourpop's third collab, I want to say. Yeah, I think it's the third collab. The first one was the palette, second one was the lippies, and then now we have the whole collection: palette, blushes, lippies. It's gonna be great. Now I ordered the PR set, so I'm not on their PR list or anything, but the PR set was like the best value, and I'm actually kind of glad because I get to appreciate the beautiful packaging. When I take this out, oh, before I take it out, you guys gotta see what's on the back. And it has a whole thing about what's inside, and it's really, really, really cute. One thing that I do like about Shayla is she's really into like things that are aesthetically pleasing. So I know that when she puts out a collection, it's gonna be well thought out. So on the inside, this is what the packaging looks like. You've got two lippies here and here, Slow Down and Speed Up. You also have a pressed powder palette, and this is the Proceed with Caution palette. And then here you have two blushes. They're under construction. You've got Whistle While You Work and Construct. I did create this look with the palette, so if you want to see it, go ahead and stay tuned. I've got some swatches of the palette, the eyeshadow palette, coming up for you. And if you're brand new here, why don't you go ahead, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and join the family. I feel like personally attacked by how oily my forehead is, and I washed my face an hour ago. That's when you know it's about to be an oily day, okay? For all my oily chicks, you know what I'm talking about. But we're gonna get started with this collection. I'm so excited to play with it. And I figure that we would do eyes first, because that way I can let the eyeshadow palette just shine on its own, and then we'll get into the face details. So this is what the outside of the palette looks like. It's really nice, really simple. On the back, if you care, there are the names of the shades, and when I open it up, oh, I like that. They have this little protector on here, and there is a little protector on the glass as well. I love when palettes have mirrors here because it just makes things so easy when you're doing your makeup. And these shades, I don't really know if they're like being portrayed as beautifully on camera, but in person, this, and this, all this shimmery reflex are really popping. So, I mean, gosh, I have I have so many options here, but they are really, really beautiful. Okay, so I'm gonna show you some swatches that I took really quickly of this palette, and I think that the swatches better portray how beautiful these shimmers are. I do believe that we've seen Culture in the previous palette that Shayla did with Colourpop, but so far I like the way that this palette is. There's an easy way to like put together a lot of these color combinations, especially for those of you guys that are like scared of color. Even though this is categorized as a neutral palette, I honestly believe that there are some really unique color combinations that you can come up with, but they're not too scary to wear if you're afraid of color. Okay, so let's get into it. I'm gonna add my eye primer. This is from the Balm. Put a lid on it. That's what it's called. And I'm just going to add this all over the lid, and then I'm going to be setting that with my Fenty Invisimatte blotting powder, but only setting it on the parts where my eyes crease. Okay, so I'm gonna just wing it with this look. I'm gonna go in with Culture first right here, and I'm gonna use that as my transition color. I've already used this color before, so I know how it's gonna work out. I know that I like it. It works really nice on my skin. Now I'm gonna take this color Gloves on, and I'm gonna pat that into the outer crease. It does have shimmers, so I would suggest just patting it in if you really want that shimmer to shine. But if you just want the black look, then you can go ahead and just blend it out, but just be aware that those shimmers are not going to be as apparent. And then I'm going to take a little bit of Culture, and I'm going to blend out that black shade just to diffuse it a little bit more, because it did come off pretty dark. And without the transition color, it's kind of harder to blend it out and diffuse it. And then I'm patting just a little bit more black here to intensify it. Okay, so I've just used 2 shades. I do want to say that I feel like you need to take your time blending because some shades, they can blend out nicely, like they'll have a nice end product, but it's not going to be like 2 seconds of blending and then the shade looks fabulous. You know, you need to kind of spend some time, especially since I'm going for a more dramatic look. I'm not just using like all mattes today. But I did find that, yeah, as long as I took my time blending, I could get a nice transition. So we're not done yet. This is like a look in progress, but we're going to be adding a shimmery shade, and I'm going to be using Drill, and that's going to be like our main shade and kind of going to blend into this black here. Okay, so I'm dipping into Drill right here, and then I'm gonna wet my brush. Now this shade is already pretty creamy, so I don't think it's necessary to wet it, but that's just what I like to do because I like my shimmers to be poppin'. And just spreading that out. Well, first I'm gonna tap it just in case there's fallout. Actually, that looks really nice. This is kind of like Halloween vibes, but I'm digging it. I'm gonna go ahead and mix gloves on and Drill just so I can get a nice transition color between these 2 shades. And this is like a really nice, easy way to just blend 2 colors together if you know, you don't really know too much of what to do. Okay, so I did my brows really quickly off camera, and I'm gonna start with my primer because it's gonna be an oily day, so I want to stick with my Rimmel Stay Matte Mattifying Primer. This is like an oldie but a goodie, a really great mattifying primer. I mean, it works with my skin, and I've heard a lot of you other guys say that you like it as well, and it just works. It's affordable, good stuff. Okay, now before I go in with my Farsali, I'm gonna use the Olay Henriksen eye cream. You can use any eye cream. This one particularly works for me because it just extends the wear of my concealer, makes it look a little bit more flawless. I notice less creasing when I use this as well. And now it's time for my Farsali. It just does wonders, gives me that like filtered effect in real life kind of look. I do suggest if you're oily to put a mattifying primer underneath your oily areas, so that way you get the best of both worlds. You get oil control and then you also get that smoothness. You guys want to know something really funny? You know, it's been so cold in Vermont, I forgot how oily my skin can be. And the weather kind of warmed up just a little bit. It was like 70 degrees yesterday. And I was like, yes, like this is what I've really been wanting. And then of course my skin got the clue and was like, and now we're producing oil. So I'm so curious where you guys live. Is it already summer weather? If so, I'm so jealous. Like, it's the winter. Well, I know they call it spring here now, but it really ain't spring. It's like an extended winter. It's like holding on firm, okay, in Vermont. Very firm. Like, we're so lucky we got a nice day of weather today, but it's about to be like 50s and raining for like the next week and a half. So for foundation, I'm using my CoverGirl True Blend Matte Made. We've got D15 first. I'm gonna put that in the center of my face. I find that D15 for me is such a good like naturally highlighted shade, so I can put that right on those areas that I want to be highlighted. And now I'm gonna put D50 on the outside of my face. This used to be like my all over shade, but I'm not quite dark enough just yet. So I like to have a mix of the 2 shades. And then of course I'm gonna take my sponge and just push that in. So I do wanna let you guys know this foundation has very light coverage. Well, I won't say very light. I'll say light to medium because you can build it up. If you do have a lot of like dark spots that you do want to conceal, I highly suggest doing some spot concealing before you apply it, or maybe after, however you like to do it. But this does give a really natural beat look, and it's also matte and it's transfer proof. I highly recommend it if you're looking for a good drugstore. Now I have heard some of you guys that are dry say that this doesn't work out for you, so you can either try using a hydrating primer underneath, or maybe then if that doesn't work even, then you know it might not be the best. But for summer, I think that most of you guys are really gonna like it. Now for concealer, I'm using the NYX. This is the Can't Stop Won't Stop in the shade Mahogany. And I'm gonna use a brush just to spread it out a little better. And then I'm gonna go in with my makeup sponge to like pat that into the skin. So to set under my eyes, I'm gonna go back to one of my favorites, the Milani translucent medium to deep. And I'm gonna use the pat and roll technique with my setting powder brush just to get a nice thin layer to just set it. So I have to be super careful with my under eyes because, you know, it's so easy for it to look super dry and cakey. So I have to go in really gentle with just a little bit of powder so that my fine lines aren't accentuated. Now for the rest of my highlighted areas, I'm gonna use the Laura Mercier powder. I'm back to using this now that the weather is kind of starting to warm up, but my skin is starting to get more oily. And I'm gonna use the little puff here, and I'm gonna use that on my forehead area, and I'm gonna use the kind of pat and roll technique as well. It looks really matte, which I'm happy about. Let's go ahead because I do want to finish up the eyes, and I don't know if this is gonna work out, but I'm thinking I really like this yellow shade here and I want to be different, and I want to just add that as like an inner corner kind of like pop of color, you know what I mean? And I kind of want to keep that nice and small there. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. It's a little bit different, but I think it's gonna grow on me throughout the day. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up my eyes, and then I'll be back to add some contour, and then we can play around with some of the blush colors in here. All right, lashes are on and everything, and I'm gonna use a Benefit Hoola Toasted for my bronzer today. Like this one, I think that it warms up the face so nicely. It complements my complexion, and they did a really great job. I mean, it's about time, Benefit. We were waiting for y'all, okay? Okay, so these blushes, like look at the packaging first of all, so freaking cute. And you've got a really bright pink one, and then you've also got kind of like a deeper mauve with a little bit of sheen. Honestly, bright blushes scare me. Like I know this would work, but when I'm wearing colorful-ish makeup, I'm a little bit scared. So I'm gonna go with this one. This one is Construct. Oh, and I didn't tell you the name of this one. This is Whistle While You Work, which is a very cute name. Okay, so let me show you this one. I had to go ahead and get a clean brush for you guys, so I'm just gonna dip this in. So this one is there, as you guys can see. It's like just a hint, but honestly, I really like blushes like that. I'm not too much into like a high pigmented blush. I like blushes that kind of diffuse and look a little natural. Now I will say, if you have like deeper complexion than me, I don't know if this is gonna show up as much because this is kind of like subtle, you know what I mean? But I think that the other one, Whistle While You Work, that one's like really pigmented. So if you like that look, you know, then you can go ahead and check that one out. Now for highlight, baby, I gotta go back to my Natasha Denona Bloom palette. I'm obsessed. It's so pretty. If you missed the last video, I got this during the VIB sale, and I'm just gonna use a makeup sponge, and I'm gonna dip into the cream base, and that's like the base for the highlight, and then just kind of go ahead and put that on right there. Actually, you know what, it might be better with the fingers. Oh yeah, I'm getting a lot more payoff there. I think the fingers work better because they warm up the cream, and then if you feel like, hey, I want a little bit of more diffusion, you can go in with your sponge and just kind of diffuse that out. But it gives kind of like a really soft, nice cream base to your glow. For highlight, I'm gonna use the Duo Glow. It's kind of like got that peachy sheen. I like that. Super glowy. Of course, I'm gonna be spraying Fix Plus, and that's really gonna enhance that glow. And then now that I got rid of that powdery look, I'm gonna go ahead with my Urban Decay. This is the D Slick, so I can really like lock the look in, you know? So while my setting spray dries, I'm just gonna talk to you about these cute lip kits. So there is a liner and a lippy in here. So we've got Speed Up and Slow Down. First of all, the packaging is so cute. Like, I have to keep this PR kit because, I don't know, I just love the packaging. I think it's just so cohesive. So I'm gonna be trying on both for you. The first one is Slow Down. And this one has got BFF4 and the color Slow Down in it. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply these. First is the liner. I have the BFF3 and that's a really bomb liner. So I'm so excited for this one. I'm really hoping, I'm looking, searching constantly for that MAC chestnut replacement so I don't have to keep buying it. So this is actually a really nice liner. Very, very creamy. Now I'm gonna add the lippy Slow Down, and this is their Ultra Satin Lip formula. So I always find whenever you're doing a lip combo, you need to kind of go back and forth to perfect it. So don't worry, it's not gonna stay like this. I'm gonna take my BFF4 liner and kind of create a nice ombre effect. So this is really cute. I like it a lot, but I have to say I'm like addicted to gloss. So if you like a matte lip, this is how it's gonna look, but I'm gonna add my Fenty Gloss Bomb just to see what it's gonna look like, you know, in its full form. Now it looks super luscious, like, I feel like this is like the ultimate like summer lip combo. Ooh, with the glossy lips. Okay, now let me take this off. I'm gonna try Speed Up for you. Now with this lip kit, you get the liner BFF3, and then you also get the lippy Speed Up. So BFF3 is a lot more of a subtle liner for me. I am gonna go ahead and add the little lippy right now and see how it compares. Okay, so I just tried to add more liner to kind of give this more of an ombre effect. I know I look crazy, but I don't think that BFF3 is deep enough for me to give that ombre effect. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna add BFF4 and just add that as the liner and bring it in to ombre it out, so that way I get a nice, you know, ombre lip nude combo. So this is like okay. I mean, it's not my favorite one. I think I like the other one better, but I am gonna add the Gloss Bomb to see if that kind of makes everything come together. So this is what it looks like. I mean, it still looks fine. It's just a little bit too like Barbie pink for me, but I think it still works. Look, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I like the first one way better. So I'm ready to tell you guys my first impressions thoughts. So I put a lot of thought into the actual palette, how the shadows blend compared to the first one that she came out with Colourpop. And just to compare, I'm going to bring out her first collection. This is the Perception palette, and show you guys what the color difference looks like. So I do find that although these shadows do blend out, they require just a little bit more extra time of blending compared to the first one. I find that the colors were a little bit more smoother, silkier in the first one, but that's me really thinking about it and being like, all right, like let me compare these two. But that doesn't mean that the Proceed with Caution palette is a bad palette at all. It's really great. I just find, you know, make sure that you blend everything out, but it still looks nice. Honestly, the Culture shade here is not my favorite shade as a transition shade for me, because on me it does kind of look slightly, just a tad bit ashier. I have some other better ones in my collection, but the rest of these shades were bomb. You know, once you took your time, they just blend really, really well. And I feel like this is a lot better for the neutral lover. It's like neutral with a twist. You know what I mean? Like I said before, you're not going to be too scared to mess around with these colors. Now, the blushes are really nice. I really like this color because I'm more of a subtle blush person, but I did put this one, Whistle While You Work, on the back of my hand, so you can kind of see it does work nicely, but I prefer this kind of blush for if you have not a lot going on in your eyes. Otherwise, I feel like it won't be such a good balance. It'll just be like blah on your eyes, blah on your your cheeks, you know, but it still works for women of color, deeper skin tone, all that. They're just really cute. I like the packaging. They show up on my skin, which is really nice, you know. So the 2 lip kits, let's talk about these. I'm not such a fan of which one is this? This one is Speed Up. I do feel like you do need a darker liner, but I'm also not a fan of Barbie pink. That's just like my personal preference. But if you like pinky nudes, then I suggest go with this. I do want to say though, if you have my complexion or deeper, definitely go for a BFF4 liner, because BFF3 is nice and paired with a lot of other lipsticks it looks great. But the 2 of these, it seems like BFF3 is just not dark enough to get that ombre effect for me. Now if you have a lighter complexion than me, then you're not going to have a problem with this at all. Now the Slowdown, this one is my favorite. It's what I have on right now. It's so cute, and I added a gloss because I always like my gloss to be poppin', you know. BFF4 is like my new favorite. So creamy, it's dark enough, and I'm really gonna enjoy pairing these together for a really great neutral lip. And I'm really glad that Shayla decided to stick with neutral lip options, because I feel like they just go with everything. It's what you're most likely to wear. Red lips, like, you know, orangish lips, they look great, but I mean, honestly, like, how often are you gonna wear those, you know? A neutral lip just goes with everything. You don't have to plan, think about it. You just put it on and you're ready to go. Now, I honestly think this set is a great value for those of you guys that are budget divas and you're trying to like slay with like minimal like money spent. I get it, it's great. I think that this is going to be a collection that you can continue to wear on a regular basis, just like the brown sugar collection from Colourpop. If you like that, I think you're gonna like this as well. Definitely let me know if you've tried this palette or anything from this collection, how you feel about it. And also please put any video suggestions down in the comments. I love to hear from you guys what you like to watch from me. Y'all know I love you guys. Thank you for kicking it with me. I will see you in the next one. Bye.